Hello, welcome to Introduction to C++ Part 2, and we'll continue on the installation of the compiler and setting up the environment. In our first video, we talked about installing the compiler on different operating systems. So this time around, we'll talk about the part 2 of it, where we'll talk about the IDE, the text editor that you're going to use to code. While that one, how the first part of the video talked about the machine that is running behind. The second part is talking about what you're typing and you're seeing. So the first part powers what we are going to do now. And so we go ahead with it. So the first step after installing the compiler is to install what you call integrated development environment or a text editor. So you have two options to work with. One is to install an IDE, integrated development environment. And you have many of them which we are going to talk about. Then you can also use second option, a text editor like Visual Studio Code, like Atom, but in this course we will just discuss Visual Studio Code. So option one, installing an IDE. These are the suggested IDE. One of them is Sea Lion. Sea Lion is developed by JetBrains. They manage it. If you are an organization, belong to an organization, belong to a tertiary institution, they can get a license and which you can use. Also, there's code blocks which you can use. There's also Visual Studio. Visual Studio is just for only Windows users. And in this course, I will recommend Sea Lion. Sea Lion is cross-platform, and most times, like I said, they have free license for tertiary institution. If you have your email that is institution-based, not personal email, you can use it to get access to Sea Lion and use all the features for learning and teaching purposes. But if you want to use it for commercial purpose, please, it is advised that you go and pay. So on Windows, to install Sea Lion or any software, you double click, or to avoid issues, you can right click and run as administrator. Follow all the prompts and then the installation will be complete. On Mac OS or Linux, you might need to install additional dependencies depending on the software that you are installing. Now, the option 2 that we have is to use the text editor, just like Visual Studio Code. First, make sure that you have installed the C compiler in our first video. In the first step, make sure that you have added the path. If you are using Windows, make sure that you have added the compiler to the system path, user variable path. Then download the Visual Studio. Download Visual Studio Code, from Visual Studio code.visualstudio.com. Remember, Visual Studio Code is different from Visual Studio that we talked about. It's different from this. Visual Studio is an IDE, it's a powerful IDE for Windows users. And you must have your powerful system, a strong enough system to be able to carry it. But if your system is not that strong and you are still on Windows, you still want to code with C++, then use this option of Visual Studio Code. Now, Visual Studio Code, when you install it, the next thing is to install the extension for IntelliSense and debugging created by Microsoft. Let me just show you a picture. So this is the first place. If you open your Visual Studio Code, this is the first place you go to. This is your extension. When you click on extension, it will open this whole area for you. It will open this whole area for you. Then the next thing is to type something here, which is C++. That's your number 2. When you type C++ there, it will display a lot of things, and you go for this one, C/C++. When you do that, and you click on it, it will open this place for you. The only difference is that mine is already installed, but if you're just clicking it the first time, this place will show install instead of uninstall. So if it shows install, all you need to do is click on it. When you click on it, if it's successful, it will change to uninstall. And if you do this, you have successfully installed the C++ extension into your Visual Studio Code. And the next thing will be for you to start coding. Thank you very much for listening